Hello, high level listeners. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello, high level listeners. Welcome to episode 16 of our advanced English podcast at High Level Listening. In today's episode, we're exploring the topic of describing your friends. If you want to learn to talk about your kids and describing your children, check out episode 15, the episode that we just did earlier. Now, we're going to be focusing today on how we talk about our friendships, our friends, their personalities, and different qualities in both American and British English from two English teachers with over 12 years of experience. Hi there, I'm Kat. I'm a teacher originally from the United States, and I'll share my American accent, vocabulary, and phrases.
And I'm Mark, the British voice here on High Level Listening. So, with our different backgrounds, we're here to give you a side-by-side comparison of the English language from both the American and British perspectives.
If you'd like to take your studying to the next level, we have PDF transcripts available for high-level listening members. Simply hit the Join button or head over to the Memberships tab, join as a high-level listener, and you'll get hundreds of pages of every single word from all of our podcast episodes.
So yes, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about friends. As usual, we will have one script each. Kat will read hers first, and then mine. Obviously, Kat's will have a more American style with more American expressions and American phrases, and then mine will lean more towards the British style. So again, it's a side-by-side look at the English language from American and British perspectives at the same time.
Then, after our scripts, we'll break down each sentence and phrase so that you can fully understand each phrase and feel more confident using them in your next conversation. We love to hear from you, so after you watch this episode, feel free to send us a comment down below using the new phrases from the episode about your own friends.
Okay, so I will start by asking Kat the question. How would you describe your friends?
My friends group means so much to me. I'm really lucky to have them as besties. My best friend Danielle is the epitome of a social butterfly. She's always hosting get-togethers and parties. Then there's Michael, who's way more laid back and chilled out. We usually just hang out at his house or do something relaxed. Let's see. Megan is such a good friend. We've been friends the longest. I always go to her for advice or when I need a pick-me-up. She's so funny, and she always knows the right thing to say. What I love is that everyone brings something unique to the table, and they're all incredibly supportive. We're pretty tight-knit, and I value their honesty and their different perspectives that they offer. So that's definitely why we're friends. Okay, so it's Mark's turn now. How would you describe your friends?
I'm really fortunate to have three best mates, each brilliant in their own way. First up, there's James, who's the extroverted one. He's always up for a laugh and typically the one dragging us out to new places on weekdays. Then there's Emma. She comes across as quite shy and reserved at first glance, but once you get to know her, she's a riot. She's incredibly funny and has this razor-sharp wit that catches you off guard. And lastly, we've got Sam, the brains of the group. He's always calm and collected. He's the one we all turn to for solid advice or just a patient ear. They're a cracking trio. Each one brings something really unique to the table. We're a close-knit bunch, and I feel very lucky to call them all my mates.
I always like talking about my friends. That just makes me feel happy inside. Yeah, for sure. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dive into some of these phrases and expressions that we used in the descriptions. And we'll go ahead and give you some insights, both from my perspective as an American teacher and from Mark's perspective as the British teacher. So let's go ahead and dive in. Mark, how do you feel about your friends?
I'm really fortunate to have three best mates, each brilliant in their own way. So yes, as the British voice on High Level Listening, I have to use this classic British word, mates. Mates is a British phrase for friends. It's a very casual word to describe people you're close to. This is different from workmates, classmates, or roommates, because those are official phrases that you could write in a contract or use in a meeting. But when you're talking about your best friends, I'll say mates, my best mate. I'm also using mates because I'm an adult. When you're at school, or when you study English when you're younger, you might learn about my best friend. The truth is, I think that phrase, my best friend, is only used among children or only at school. I think it would be quite weird if an adult said, oh, here's my best friend. They sound a bit childish to me.
Okay.
So in England, the adult version is best mate. I think it's okay for two adults to say we're best mates. That sounds more appropriate somehow. So best friends are for children. Best mates is the phrase for adults, in my view. Yes, and then they're each brilliant in their own way. In their own way means in a different way. If you remember, I have 3 friends, and they all have different traits and characteristics. I really like all of those characteristics, but they're all different. There's extroverted, shy, funny, and patient and smart. So different traits, but all brilliant in their own way. They could be, each of them are funny in their own way. Each of them are creative in their own way, or each are smart in their own way. So those are my feelings about my friends. How about you? How do you feel about your friends?
So my friends group means so much to me. I'm really lucky to have them as besties. So I just kind of light up when I think about my friends. They are such a good group. Now, I have a friends group, or you can say a friend group, and that simply means a group of friends. Okay, so I was trying to think of, is it friend group, friends group, or friends apostrophe S? And it's actually all 3. That's why they all sounded a little familiar. My friends group, my group of friends, or use it as an adjective, my friend group, group of friends, friend group. Because we use this with other things too, like a work group, a yoga group, a workout group. So we have a friends group as well. Besties. Now, I like this phrase, I like this word, bestie. Cute, cutie, cuties. So we have one bestie, bestie, or 2 besties. One cutie, a person that is cute, cutie, or 2 cuties. These are just kind of cute, informal names for really good friends. Now, if you are on Instagram or you see comments, sometimes you see people calling each other bestie, even people you don't know very well. So bestie is kind of an informal way to just say friend. Hey, friend. Hey, bestie. So yes, you can refer to your best friends as your besties. Or if you're talking to people on the internet and you kind of want to be cute and say a cute word, then you could call them a bestie. Hey, bestie. Even strangers on the internet can call you bestie. So that's a very informal kind of slang word. Now, I do want to comment that in American English, we would never say mates. Mate in American English would be that you are going to physically be attracted to someone else and they will be your mate, especially for animals. Animals find mates. And that was one of the funniest words when I first heard it in British English. I said, your best mate?
Mm-hmm.
That guy? That's your best mate? Oh, you mean friend. Oh, I see. So it did get a little confusing. And for some Americans who haven't always heard the British accent, it might be a little confusing the first time you hear it.
Right, they see. So Americans, when they look at the UK, it's like they're watching a nature documentary.
Yes.
Like they're at the zoo and they're like, wow, they're mates. Wow.
Oh, they're mates. Wait, they're mates with them too?
The
Oh,
mates,
and they're mates with
best
them
mates.
as well. Wow. Oh, I see. So you have
We've been
multiple
mates for a
mates.
long time. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right.
So
Not just
that is
one.
kind of the joke, and you can joke around with that just a little bit. So that is kind of one of the definite differences between American and British. But I found that really interesting that you said, Mark, about you can have like a best friend when you're a kid and it feels very juvenile or just kind of something
Quite
immature.
young.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. So you definitely use it, but as you get older, you have mates, not friends. So that makes sense.
Sure. And likewise, in reverse, the word bestie I associate more with America. I don't
Okay.
know any of my British friends who would say bestie. You do
Okay.
hear it in movies, and that American films and media is very influential and has an influence on British English, definitely. Bestie, if I'm using that, it's like I'm trying to be extra American and funny. I don't know
Hey,
if people use
cutie.
that
Hey,
sincerely.
bestie.
Mm, yeah.
All right. So let's talk about your best friend, or in your case, your best mate, and what are they like?
First up, there's James, who's the extroverted one. He's always up for a laugh and typically the one dragging us out to new places or on weekdays. So, we're talking about a group of friends, and one very useful phrase is the extroverted one. So, we need three words here. First, we need the article, the, because it's the one in this group only. Out of these three, he is the extroverted one. I'm also using the extroverted one because the most obvious trait and the clearest characteristic is that he's extroverted. When you meet three of my friends, out of the three, he is the most extroverted. So in the group, he becomes the extroverted one. This is
Right.
kind
And
of
I
like the
also,
superlative.
yes, again, I think that just like the superlative, he's the only one doing that. There's the quiet one, the
Mm,
lazy one, the funny one. And I would think that out of the group, they're definitely the most of that.
yes. So you can change this adjective, of course, the funny one. Oh, yeah, he's the funny one. That means he's the funniest in the group, the one making the most jokes and making people laugh the most. You could have the shy one. She's the shy one, so she's the quietest one. The smart one, the one with the most degrees or went to the best university or whatever. The stylish one, who has the nicest clothes. It's kind of their main identifying feature in the group. So in this case, James, who's the extroverted one, that's kind of his main thing. He is extroverted, he talks to people, he makes new friends, he starts conversations, and he enjoys being social. So he's the extroverted one.
Mm. What do you
Uh,
consider yourself in your friend group? What are you? Because I think I'm the outgoing one or the talkative one for sure. What do you kind of consider
uh,
yourself?
that's a good one. I don't. I'd like to say the smart one, or I'd like to say the funny one, the one who knows the names of all the movies and the actors.
Yeah,
So
that's a
when
good way
everyone
to
else is
say
trying to
that. The
remember a
one
film,
who, so if you need more words, if you need a statement, oh, the one who always knows the answers to a question we should be Googling.
yeah, right. I'm the F1 the one who knows all
You're the
about
F1
Formula
guy,
One.
the F1 guy.
The F1 guy. Yeah, so if we're doing a pub quiz or something, I'm the
Oh
guy.
yeah. You're the pub
Yes,
quiz guy for sure.
sure. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell. But anyway, so James is the extroverted one. Part of him being the extroverted one, he's always up for a laugh. Again, this is quite a British phrase. If he's up for something, he's ready to do it. He's willing to do it. So he's always willing to go out and do something. A laugh is another British phrase. So he's up for a laugh means he's ready for something fun. He's always willing to do something fun. That could be going to a bar, going to a pub, going to a restaurant, going to a show. You can use this for other phrases too. He's always up for a chat means he's always ready to talk or always happy to talk. Or she's always up for a glass of wine. Like she's always ready or happy to have a glass of wine with you. So he's always up for a laugh. He's always ready or willing to have fun with you. So, how about your best friend? What are they like?
So, my best friend Danielle is the epitome of a social butterfly. She's always hosting get-togethers and parties. So I love this word, the epitome. Epitome. The epitome of a social butterfly. The epitome of means the perfect example of something. So she's the epitome of class. He's the epitome of book smarts. That means that he is that perfect example. He's almost like a stereotype. Like when you look something up in the dictionary and you're like, oh yeah, that perfectly describes this person. They are the epitome of something. A social butterfly. Now, I'm sure a lot of students have heard this. A social butterfly, think of someone who floats around from party to party, person to person, always very easygoing, always having people over. She is the epitome of a social butterfly. So when I look up the definition of social butterfly, that sounds exactly like her. She's always hosting get-togethers and parties. Hosting means to organize and invite people to your home. So if you are the host, you are the organizer. Okay, so she is the host. She likes to play host, which means that she is the one organizing everything. And she's always hosting get-togethers and hosting parties. Get-togethers is a noun that just simply means a time everyone spends together. So I think in the formality, I think a get-together is very informal, very casual. Hey, let's get together this weekend as a verb. Oh, my friend is having a get-together. If your friend is having a get-together, I think that's pretty casual, easygoing. If your friend is having a party, that feels like more people, more decorations, more food, more effort for sure. So she definitely likes to host get-togethers. They might be small and a little bit more casual, or parties where that would be quite a bit more fun, more people, more food.
Yeah, it's definitely the distinction in my mind. A get-together is a small one, a small party, and then a party could be much bigger with more guests. Maybe a theme. Yes. Maybe I have to wear some certain clothes to a party.
And I might be like, hey, what should I wear to this party? They're like, well, it's not really a party. It's just a get-together. Okay. So something casual then. No big deal. So that's, you're right. That's kind of the difference there for sure. Okay. So Mark, let me ask you, who else are you friends with?
Then there's Emma. She comes across as quite shy and reserved at first glance, but once you get to know her, she's a riot. She's incredibly funny, and she has this razor-sharp wit that catches you off guard. So, my friend Emma. Sometimes when you have a friend, the first time you met them, maybe you didn't have a great impression, or maybe the first time you met them, you didn't really talk much, or you thought they had one sort of personality, and then the more times you met them and the more you got to know them, you learned about their real personality. And that's kind of the case here with Emma. She comes across as shy and reserved. That means that she seems shy. She appears shy. Maybe in the conversation she doesn't talk much, or maybe she just listens and doesn't really comment. So that will be your first impression, that she's shy and maybe she's not having fun or she's not enjoying herself. She doesn't want to be here. But once you get to know her, so once you meet her more times and spend more time with her, she's a riot.
That's the complete opposite for me.
Right. Yeah, that's it. So her first impression is shy. But once you get to know her, suddenly you see the real person, the real Emma, and she's a riot. A riot means very, very funny. The reason I say she's a riot is because she has this razor sharp wit. So you might know wit. Wit is a way of being funny. If you have a sharp wit, then you can make jokes very quickly. Somebody says something and you can think of a joke and say it really fast. So if you're good at being funny quickly, then you have wit, or you are witty. Funny and witty. So if you can do it quickly, then you have a sharp wit. That's even faster. And then razor, like shaving, razor sharp wit is even faster. So a razor sharp wit is really, really quick. You're really fast at making jokes. You can hear a comment and fire off a joke super quick. So that's one of the reasons I think Emma is so funny, because she has this razor sharp wit. She's a riot, so she makes everyone laugh with her witty comebacks. But the first time you meet her, she comes across as quite shy and reserved. And I have a few other friends like this. She comes across as quite serious, but once you get to know her, she's actually very friendly. Or he comes across as a meathead who only cares about the gym, but once you get to know him, he's actually quite smart. So first impressions are not everything.
Poor meathead friend.
I know, sorry. Anyway, who else are you friends with?
So then there's Michael, who's way more laid back and chilled out. We usually just hang out at his house or do something relaxed. Now, I was talking about my friend who's a social butterfly, and I kind of used language that sounded like her. Well, now I've kind of calmed my language down, and I'm using a lot more slang here. So he's way more laid back and chilled out. So if you are laid back, if you are a laid back person, I'm thinking literally like laying back into the couch, laid back. You're just kind of, you're relaxed, very relaxed, a laid back person. You know, if you hear about problems, you're like, I'm sure it'll be okay. Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure things will be fine. Not stressed, definitely not stressed, just super laid back and chilled out. Chilled out. Chilled out is very similar to laid back. It's just someone who always remains calm or who never really stresses about anything. Now, if you're a chilled out kind of person, you're not probably going to be throwing big, crazy parties. You might, we might watch a movie together, or we might just have a little dinner together, or we might just relax at a coffee shop. We wouldn't be doing these big, crazy get-togethers. We'll probably just do something relaxed. Now, when we hang out with somebody, we spend time with them. So I like to hang out with my friends. And when we hang out, there's usually nothing planned. Yeah, do you want to just hang out on Saturday? I don't know what our plans are, but we can just hang out, play games, watch a movie or something. So let's hang out together. Let's spend time together and do something relaxed. Do something relaxed. Now, we have kind of two phrases here. Do something relaxed or do something relaxing. Now, these words do change what you're doing just a little bit. So if I do something relaxed, that means that the activity was calm or easygoing. Yeah, I just had a relaxed Sunday. We spent a little time at the park. We just chatted. I called my mom. It was pretty relaxed. Easygoing, calm. Didn't really do anything too big or too energetic. Now, if I do something relaxing, that activity relaxes me. So I think of a relaxing activity as like going to the spa or doing something that really just, okay, I was really stressed before. And now that I did that relaxing activity, oh man, whew, I am definitely feeling way more relaxed now. So the relaxing activity relaxes me, and a relaxed activity is just something that's not stressful, something just that's calm and easygoing. So they do have a little bit of a difference, and that's kind of how I feel what the difference is. What do you think, Mark? Do you have anything to add to
Yeah,
that?
sure. Yeah, I mean, if I were talking about coffee and I'm drinking this because I want to relax, this is a relaxing cup of coffee because when I drink it, I feel relaxed. Or if I feel stressed or worried about work and I go for a walk, that walk is relaxing because the walk is making me feel relaxed. So when it's changing you, it's relaxing. Quick plug, we did an IELTS vocabulary video where we talked about tea and coffee. One of the words in there was energizing. That's another adjective with ing. So changing ing. It's energizing. It makes me full of energy. It changes me. So relaxing is changing your mood for the better. So if you can remember it that way, changing ing. That's the rule I tell my students.
Okay, so let's continue on. Do you have any other good friends? Any other good
Lastly,
mates? Sorry.
yeah, I've got one last mate. Lastly, we've got Sam, the brains of the group, always calm and collected. He's the one we all turn to for solid advice or just a patient ear. So, like we talked about James earlier, the extroverted one, I'm using the again because I'm only talking about among this specific group. And he is the brains of the group. The brains, this thing up here, means he's the smart one. The brains of the group means maybe he just knows a lot of useful information. Maybe he's good at solving problems. And so because he is smart and helpful in that way, we turn to him for solid advice. If you have friends or family too, and you need some help, you can choose the family member or the friend who you think will help you the most. And when you choose someone for advice or choose someone to talk to, we say turn to. So we choose him for advice, we turn to him for advice. If it's advice about animals or cats, my sister has 2 cats, so I turn to her for advice about cats. My dad is very good with money. He's a financial advisor, so if I have any money problems, I turn to my dad for advice. With friends, we turn to Sam because he's calm and collected. Kind of like how Kat was saying, relaxed and laid back and chilled out. Calm and collected also means they rarely get stressed, they rarely get angry, they take their time, think about things, and then make a decision. Calm and collected is kind of a couple. It's always these 2 words together, like fish and chips, black and white, calm and collected. It's always this couple of words, so I can't change either of them really. But yeah, so even if we're driving along and the car breaks down in the middle of the road, Sam will be calm and collected. He'll say, okay guys, let's look up a mechanic, let's give them a ring, and that makes everyone else feel calm too. So he has a nice, calm, collected presence that makes everyone else feel calm as well. So that's why we turn to him for advice and help. Okay, how about you? Any other good friends?
Let's see. Megan. Megan is such a good friend. We've been friends the longest. I always go to her for advice and when I need to pick me up. She's so funny and she always knows the right thing to say. So I have another friend, Megan. We've been friends the longest. We've been friends the longest. So out of all the people I've known, out of all the friends that I've had, I've known her the longest. We've been friends the longest. So our friendship, let's see, we've been friends for 20 years, I think. So definitely we've been friends the longest. Out of all my other friends, I have not been friends with somebody more than 20 years, so she wins. So I always go to her for advice and when I need a pick-me-up. So just like Mark turns to someone, I go to her. I go to her for advice. That feels like a little bit more like, hey, you know who would help me right now? I'm going to go talk to Megan about this. Hey, I have something to ask you about. So I'm going to go to her for advice, or if I need some sort of information about something, I definitely want to go to her for advice and get her perspective. Or when I need a pick-me-up. A pick-me-up is something that will make you feel better than you do right now. So if I need a pick-me-up, I might be feeling a bit sad, down, or depressed, and I need her to make me feel better. So a pick-me-up, she will cheer me up. So if I need a pick-me-up, hey, I don't feel so great, and I just wanted to give you a call just to say hi because you always make me feel better. So she is my pick-me-up. She's my pick-me-up, and she's always going to cheer me up because she is so funny and she always knows the right thing to say.
Yeah, she'll give me a pick-me-up. That's another thing I can say about coffee. If I'm tired in the morning and drink some, oh yeah, this is a pick-me-up. It makes me feel better. There's actually a phrase that I just remembered, and I wish I put it in my script. You said that you and Megan have been friends for the longest, like a really long time. There is a phrase, we go way back. That's the same meaning. We have been friends for so long, it's almost difficult to count how many years. Maybe I don't remember because we were children, and I don't remember what year we met. If you have an old friend, we go way back. It's like an easy way to introduce someone. You're like, hi, this is my friend Sam. We go way back. And you understand.
In other words, we've been friends for a long time. We have a lot of history together. We go way back. The longer you've been friends, we go way back. The longer you've been friends, the longer the way. Right. We go way back for sure.
Right. True. You can double it up as well. We go way
back. Yeah. And that's actually a good way to respond to if Mark said something like, oh yeah, we go way back. And I'd be like, way back for sure. And then you start to think, oh my gosh, we've been friends for a long time for sure. A long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the longer the word, the longer the time. That's the rule.
Yes. All right. Okay. So now you've talked about all of your friends separately, but are all of you friends? Are you kind of in the same friends group?
Yes, we are. They're a cracking trio. Each one brings something really unique to the table.
So British, cracking.
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 Yes. Cracking means great, brilliant, fun, amazing. I had a cracking trip, a cracking holiday.
A cracking good time.
Yep. Or you finish a meal, you put your cutlery down like, oh, that was cracking. So cracking means great.
Very versatile.
Yes, in all kinds of contexts. So last episode, we talked about a duo being two. We've got three here, so it's a trio. Mm-hmm. So they're a cracking trio. They're a group of three great friends. And yes, we're all friends together. I don't see each of them separately. We meet up and get together. Each one brings something really unique to the table. I'm not talking about a literal table. I'm talking about the group. The group is the table. So if they bring something unique, James brings his extrovertness. What's her name? Emma brings her humor and her razor-sharp wit. And then Sam brings his smarts and calmness. So three of them bring something different each. And then they bring it into the group. They bring it to the table. Do you say that in the States as well?
Definitely. If you bring something to the table, it's basically what I kind of think of. We use this for work a lot as well. If you bring something to the table, it's what you add to the group, what you add as a single person coming into a group. Why will you make the group better? What do you bring to the table? So just like Mark said, he said each one brings something really unique to the table. I would also say everyone brings something unique to the table. We actually ended up with the same phrase there because we both use it. And they're all incredibly supportive. Now, what's funny is the way that I set this sentence up. So what I love is that everyone does this. What I love is that everyone does this. So, why do you like your friends? Okay, so what I love in particular is that they all do this. So it's kind of an interesting setup because I'm not starting a question. I'm not saying, what do I love about my friends? No, I'm making a statement here. Oh, what I love is that everyone brings something unique to the table. So I thought that was kind of an interesting grammar setup for sure. And everyone is incredibly supportive. I think in the end, you know, your family, your parents, if they support you, if they don't support you where you need, you should reach out to your friends. Being supportive is someone who encourages you, gives you emotional help and guidance. They think that what you're doing is the right thing and they're going to help you move in the right direction. And I think that's what's really important about my friends group. They are all very supportive.
That's
all right,
nice, yeah.
let's tie it up with our very last question. Are you guys close? Do you consider yourselves quite close friends?
We're a close-knit bunch, and I feel very lucky to call them my mates. So the last phrase for me is a close-knit bunch. You might know knit like knitting, like an old granny or an old lady with a woolen thread and then knitting it together and making a scarf or a sweater or a jumper or something like that. So like knitting, those two threads are really, really close and kind of strong when you put them all together. So we use the same phrase when we talk about friendships. If we have like a very close and strong friendship, we are close-knit. A close-knit group, a close-knit team, a close-knit bunch. So we're a very close bunch, and a bunch is a group of people. So we are a close bunch. We often put an adjective before bunch. So a funny bunch is a group of funny people. A close-knit bunch is a group of very close friends. An interesting bunch is a polite way to say maybe quite a strange group of people or just a crazy bunch of kids. They go out, they get into trouble, they do all kinds of weird things. But a bunch is a group of friends, usually. I don't think I would use this in a work setting. I would just use this to talk about my friends. So we're all very close. We're a close-knit bunch. So yes, we are very close.
I do want to mention too that a bunch as a group would probably be at least 3 or 4 people or more for sure. We wouldn't say a bunch with just 2, even 3, a bunch. I like the trio word. I like that trio. So kind of a duo, a trio, or a bunch. A bunch of kids can also mean a lot of kids as well. So it's kind of a fun word and a little bit, you can use it in a couple of different ways. Just like Mark, we're pretty tight knit. And I value their honesty and the different perspectives they offer. That's definitely why we're friends. So just like close-knit, tight-knit. We have a very close, strong relationship. We have a tight-knit family. My family is very tight-knit. We have a tight-knit group of friends. We are a tight-knit bunch of friends, for sure. The next one, similar, I value their honesty. I value something. If you value something, you appreciate and you are thankful for something. I value their honesty, and I think their honesty is very important. Finally, the different perspectives they offer. Your perspective is your way of thinking. So someone who's an engineer might think differently and have a different life experience from someone who's an artist. They just offer different perspectives, different life experiences. So the way that they give advice, the way that they listen to you and kind of help you out and give you ideas for how to continue, these are different perspectives. And I absolutely value their honesty and the different perspectives that they offer. That's definitely why we're friends.
Yeah.
This
Right.
script definitely made me feel just really nice just thinking about my friends, and I miss them. I'm going to have to give them a call or send them a message after this.
Right. Yeah. Have a get together, catch up, have a chat. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining us and studying with us this episode. If you want to see our scripts in writing and you want to see all our examples and everything we said to explain and support it, if you remember, you can download the PDF transcript for this episode, which should be available already. And yes, you can also tell us about your relationship with your friends. You can write us a comment. We read all of them. We reply to all of them as well. So see if you can use some of the vocabulary from this lesson to tell us about your friends. And we'll get back to you as soon as we see it.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And I hope that you join us here on YouTube as a member. And we'll see you very soon for our next episode. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.